Hi! Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am Mahnur and you watch AMK Vid. In Islam, a woman is a completely independent personality. She can make any contract or bequest in her own name. She is entitled to inherit in her position as mother, as wife, as sister and as daughter. She has perfect liberty to choose her husband. For the first time, women were given the right to have a share in inheritance. In the new social climate, women rediscover themselves and become highly active members of society, rendering useful service even during wars, which the pagan Arabs forced on the emerging Muslim Ummah. They carried provisions for the soldiers, nursed them, and even fought alongside them if it was necessary. It became a common sight to see a woman helping their husbands in the fields, carrying on trade and business independently, and going out of their homes to satisfy their needs. The predominant idea in the teachings of Islam with regard to man and woman is that a husband and wife should be full-fledged partners in making their home a happy and prosperous place. They should also be loyal and faithful to one another, genuinely interested in each other's welfare and the welfare of their children. A woman is expected to exercise a humanizing influence over her husband and to soften the sternness inherent in his nature. Once a woman came to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ with a complaint against her husband. He told her, "There is no woman who removes something to replace it in its proper place, with a view to tidying her husband's house, but that God sets it down as a virtue for her. Nor is there a man who walks with his wife hand in hand, but that God sets it down as a virtue for him. And if he puts his arm round her shoulder in love, his virtue is increased tenfold." The Islamic law regards women as the spiritual and intellectual equals of men. Men are responsible for the maintenance of the family. It allows the work of managing the home and the upbringing and training of children to women. Men are head of the family. They need to consult with his family and then to have the final say in decisions concerning it. In doing so, he must not abuse his prerogative to cause any injury to his wife. Any transgression of this principle involves for him the risk of losing the favor of God. That is because his wife is not his subordinate, but she is the queen of her house. In Islam, there is absolutely no difference between man and woman as far as the relationship with God is concerned, as both are promised the same reward for good conduct and the same punishment for evil conduct. The Quran, in addressing the believers, often uses the expression believing men and women to emphasize the equality of men and women in regard to their respective duties, rights, virtues, and merits. Surah An-Nisa, Ayat 19. O believers, it is not permissible for you to inherit women against their will or mistreat them to make them return some of the dowry as a ransom for divorce, unless they are found guilty of adultery. Treat them fairly. If you happen to dislike them, you may hate something which Allah turns into a great blessing. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Women are the twin halves of man." for Muslim men and women, for believing men and women, for devout men and women, for true men and women, for men and women who are patient and constant, for men and women who humble themselves, for men and women who give in charity, for men and women who fast and deny themselves, for men and women who guard their chastity, and for men and women who engage much in God's praise. For them has God prepared forgiveness and great reward. Surah Al-Ahzab, Ayat 35. The Quran says that women have souls in exactly the same way as men and will enter paradise if they simply do good. Whoever works righteousness, man or woman, and has faith verily, to him will we give a new life, a life that is good and pure, and we will bestow on such their reward according to the best of their actions. Surah An-Nahl, Ayat 97. Islam regards men and women as being of the same essence created from a single soul. Surah An-Nisa, Ayat 1. O mankind, fear your Lord, who created you from one soul and created from it its mate and dispersed from both of them many men and women. And fear Allah, through whom you ask one another, and the worms. Indeed, Allah is ever over you an observer. The Quran emphasizes the essential unity of men and women in a most beautiful metaphor. They, your wives, are your garments, and ye are their garments. Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayat 187. Just as a garment hides our nakedness, so do husband and wife. By entering into the relationship of marriage, secure each other's chastity. Their garment gives comfort to the body, so does the husband find comfort in his wife's company and she in his. Actually, a garment is the grace, the beauty, the embellishment of the body. So too are wives to their husbands as their husbands are to them. The Quran calls woman Musana, a fortress against shaitan. This is because a good woman, by marrying a man, helps him keep to the path of rectitude in his life. It is for this reason that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ considered marriage as a most virtuous act. And one of his signs is that he created for you spouses from among yourselves, so that you may find comfort in them. And he has placed between you compassion and mercy. Surely in these are signs for people who reflect. Surah Ar-Rum, Ayat 21. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ always praised virtuous and chaste women. He said, "The world and all things in the world are precious, but the most precious thing in the world is a virtuous woman." In the end, I want to say, if I made some mistakes, may Allah forgive me. Astaghfirullah. If you want to complete the given information or give your examples, write comments. I am interested in your opinion. Don't forget to subscribe the channel and share the video. Bye for now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.